Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. The Young and the Restless Friday, June 28 recap. Sharon's bizarre behavior worries Mariah, Summer spies Kyle and Audra. The Young and the Restless I&R, spoilers recap for Friday, June 28, reveals that Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, will knock on the door of the cottage and let herself in when Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, doesn't answer her. Sharon will be sitting there staring off into space, so it'll weird Mariah out. After Sharon admits she didn't hear Mariah come in, she'll zone out during a story about Aria Porter Copeland, Maddie and Millie Engel as well. Mariah will wonder if Sharon's feeling okay, but Sharon will act like she's just distracted by work. When Mariah offers up some of Aria's artwork, Sharon will seem fixated on the art Cassie Newman, Cameron Grimes, just to make and will zone out once again. Mariah will finally decide Sharon needs some sunshine and grandma time, so she'll push Sharon to join her for lunch in the park with Aria and Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks. Sharon will enjoy strolling Aria around, but she'll seem like her mind's wandering again later. Mariah will ask for stories about when Cassie was little, but Sharon won't seem like she can focus enough to really talk. After Sharon leaves, both Mariah and Tessa will agree that she's not acting like herself. Once Sharon returns to the cottage, she'll get her doctor on the phone and admit she thinks something's wrong with her new meds, since she feels so odd. Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, will also meet with Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, who'll admit she's late because she had to check with Victor Newman, Eric Braden, and make sure Kyle's news was legit. Although Audra and Kyle will acknowledge the lack of trust between them, Kyle will still think they could make a good team, and will suggest rolling the dice. Audra will point out that Glissade will be Jabbett's competitor, but Kyle will be excited about going up against them. There will be some questions about Victor's motives, but Kyle and Audra will seem prepared to rise to the challenge together. Audra and Kyle will meet in the park initially, but they'll continue talking at the G6 later. And our spoilers say Summer Newman, Allison Lanier, will spot Kyle with Audra and send a dirty look their way. After Summer summons Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, and Chloe Mitchell, Elizabeth Hendrickson, Chloe will stop herself from being pushy and will try to get on Summer's good side. Summer will act like there's no need for Chloe to kiss up to her since she's made her decision. Chloe will assume she's not coming back on board at Marchetti, but Summer will surprise Chloe by giving her a second chance. Once Kyle leaves, Summer will stop Audra as she heads for the exit. That'll give Summer an opportunity to grill Audra about what's going on with Kyle, but Audra will act like it's none of Summer's business. At Jabbett, Diane Jenkins Abbott, Susan Walters, and Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, will remain distraught over how things went down with Kyle. Jack will also struggle over the idea of filling Kyle's position and perhaps hiring someone in the lab on an interim basis to replace Ashley Abbott, Eileen Davidson. Although Jack will hate that there aren't as many Abbotts at the company these days, Diane will give him a pep talk. After talking with Audra, Kyle will arrive to clean out his office and drop some hints about his new job. Kyle will act like maybe Diane did him a favor, and after Kyle's gone, Diane will tell Jack that maybe it's good for Kyle to find somewhere he feels like he belongs. Jack will just wish Kyle felt like he belonged at Jabbett, but Diane will still have high hopes for the future of the company. At Crimson Lights, Faith Newman, Raylan Castor, will have coffee with Lucy Romolotti, Lily Brooks O'Brien, who'll gush over how much fun college looks, and will wonder if Faith's part of a sorority. Faith will admit she isn't and will note that she doesn't drink either, so Lucy will find that strange. Once Faith admits she almost died the last time she drank, she'll share the story of her accident to explain why she's not interested in booze. Although Faith will have to leave before they get into the kidnapping story that Lucy really wanted, they'll discuss meeting up for another chat sometime. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Lucy could land in some trouble down the road, so we'll bring you predictions on the danger and updates on whether Faith will get dragged into it. The sun had barely risen over Genoa City, but the drama was already in full swing. At Crimson Lights, Sharon's behavior was noticeably off-kilter, sending ripples of concern through those who knew her best. Her daughter Mariah, in particular, couldn't shake the feeling that something was seriously wrong. Sharon had always been a pillar of strength, even in the face of adversity. Today there was an eerie edge to her usually calm demeanor. Her hands trembled slightly as she poured coffee, and her eyes darted around the room as if searching for something or someone. Mariah, ever the vigilant daughter, decided it was time to intervene. "Mom, are you okay?" Mariah asked, her voice laced with genuine concern. Sharon forced a smile, but it didn't reach her eyes. "I'm fine, sweetheart. Just a little tired." But Mariah wasn't convinced. Sharon's erratic behavior had been escalating over the past few days. She'd been forgetting things like important dates and even simple tasks, and then there were the moments of blank staring, as if she were lost in another world. Meanwhile, across town at Newman Enterprises, Summer was on a mission of her own. She had become increasingly suspicious of Kyle and Audra's closeness. Their whispered conversations and shared looks were too frequent to ignore. Determined to uncover the truth, Summer decided to take matters into her own hands. She followed them discreetly, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. What she discovered only fueled her suspicions. Kyle and Audra were meeting at a secluded cafe, away from the prying eyes of their colleagues and friends. They sat in a corner booth, their heads bent together in hushed conversation. Summer positioned herself at a nearby table, straining to catch snippets of their dialogue. She could hear enough to know they were discussing something important, something they didn't want anyone else to know about. But the exact nature of their secret remained elusive. Back at Crimson Lights, Mariah decided to confront her mother directly. "Mom, you've got to tell me what's going on. This isn't just tiredness. You're scaring me." Sharon's eyes filled with tears. "I don't know, Mariah. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Everything seems so disjointed. I can't keep track of anything anymore." Mariah hugged her mother tightly, her worry deepening. "We need to get you to a doctor. There has to be an explanation for this." As Mariah made arrangements for a medical appointment, Summer's investigation took a dramatic turn. She watched in shock as Kyle reached across the table and took Audra's hand. The intimacy of the gesture sent a jolt of anger and betrayal through Summer. She quickly snapped a photo with her phone, determined to have evidence of whatever was going on between them. The rest of the day was a blur for Sharon. She agreed to see a doctor, hoping they could provide some answers. Mariah stayed by her side, offering comfort and support. The doctor's office was a sterile, intimidating place, but Sharon tried to stay positive. After a series of tests, the doctor returned with a somber expression. "Sharon, we're going to need to run more tests, but I have a preliminary diagnosis. It appears you might be suffering from early-onset Alzheimer's." The words hit Sharon like a ton of bricks. She felt her world crumbling around her. Mariah clung to her mother, tears streaming down her face. "We'll get through this, Mom, I promise." While Sharon grappled with her devastating news, Summer was formulating a plan. She needed to confront Kyle and Audra, to demand answers about their secret meetings. She couldn't let them continue deceiving her and everyone else. The next morning, Summer cornered Kyle at Javit. "We need to talk," she said, her voice steely. Kyle looked taken aback but followed her to her private office. "What's this about, Summer?" She pulled out her phone and showed him the photo she'd taken. "Care to explain this?" Kyle's face paled. "It's not what you think, Summer. Audra and we've been working on a project. It's supposed to be confidential." "Confidential? So confidential that you have to hold hands and meet in secret?" Summer's voice dripped with sarcasm. Kyle sighed. "It's complicated. But I swear it's not what it looks like." Before Summer could press further, Audra entered the room. She looked between Summer and Kyle, realizing the jig was up. "We were going to tell you, Summer. Just not yet." Summer's eyes narrowed. "Tell me what?" Audra took a deep breath. We're working on a major merger for Jabbit. It's a sensitive deal, and we didn't want to risk any leaks. The explanation sounded plausible, but Summer's instincts told her there was more to the story. And the hand-holding. The secret meetings. Explain that. Kyle and Audra exchanged a glance. We didn't want anyone to know we were working together so closely, Kyle said. It's been a lot of late nights and high pressure. We were just supporting each other. Summer felt a pang of guilt for doubting Kyle, but her trust wasn't fully restored. Fine, but from now on, no more secrets. As the day drew to a close, Sharon and Mariah returned home, exhausted but hopeful. They knew the road ahead would be tough, but they were determined to face it together. Summer, on the other hand, couldn't shake the feeling that Kyle and Audra were hiding something more. In Genoa City, secrets and lies were a currency all their own, and everyone had a stake in the game.